This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1944. How to Start Investing. Simple 4-Step Investing for Beginners by Mr. Finer of MrFiner.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. And now let's get to today's post as we optimize your life. How to Start Investing. Simple 4-Step Investing for Beginners by Mr. Finer of MrFiner.com. I made the common investing for beginners mistake. I started investing by buying and selling stocks. Over the years, I've learned that buying stocks, mutual funds, real estate, etc. should be the last step in investing. 3 essential things should come before that. I've highlighted these 3 steps and my past mistakes. Hopefully, it will help you avoid the mistakes I made. This article is US focused, but the same principles apply in any country. Step 1. Build a strong foundation. When I started investing, I didn't have an emergency fund. An emergency fund is the money needed to cover 6 to 9 months of living expenses. Investing without having an emergency fund is like driving without seatbelts. Can you do it? Yes. Is it safe? No. An emergency fund provides peace of mind. More importantly, it protects your investments. Typically, job losses happen during a recession. If you don't have an emergency fund, you may be forced to sell your investments at a loss during a recession. The second step in building a solid foundation is to get rid of your debts, car loans, personal loans, credit card debts, etc. It's better to save 10% by paying off your loans than trying to earn 10% by investing in stocks. The only debt I have is a mortgage, home loan, because interest rates on mortgages are typically lower, plus there are tax benefits associated with a mortgage. Lastly, it's important to have the right kind and amount of insurance. Step 1. Key actions. Build an emergency fund and retire all debts except mortgage. Step 2. Take all the free money. For the longest time, I did not pay attention to my company's benefits policy. My company offered a 100% match up to $5,000 for a 401k account. So now I put $5,000 into my 401k account and get $5,000 from my company. That's an instant 100% return on my investment. There's such a thing as a free lunch. You just have to read your employer benefits document. In addition to 401k, there are other accounts like HSAs where companies typically match contributions. Make sure you don't miss out on free money. Governments also give out free money. For example, subsidies on electric vehicles, green appliances, etc. In many states, you can get a smart thermostat for free. An investment in a smart thermostat can help you save money every month on utilities. Step 2. Key actions. Take advantage of company contributions and benefits, and availability of government incentives, subsidized or free smart thermostats, green credits, etc. Step 3. Collect guaranteed returns. Investing is inherently risky. The returns are not guaranteed. In times like these, when markets are choppy and inflation is rising, guaranteed returns can seem like a godsend. Although bank deposits provide next to no returns, there are other options to obtain higher guaranteed returns. I-bonds provide 7% plus returns and have 0 risk. Another major investing for beginners mistake I made was that I did not pay much attention to taxes. Saving 30% in taxes is much easier and also much better than earning 30% in stocks. When you save 30% in your taxes, you keep the full 30%. When you make 30% in stocks, you effectively just get 20 to 25% after paying taxes. Now, I don't just put in $5,000 to get the company match. I max out my 401k and get the full tax saving benefit. Step 3. Key actions. Invest in high-yielding risk-free assets like I-bonds and maximize tax-saving options, 401k, IRA, HSA, 529 plans, etc. And step 4, invest the remaining money. Investing is about maximizing returns while minimizing risks. The above 3 steps help me minimize risk. After building a strong foundation, grabbing free money, and pocketing guaranteed returns, I finally invest whatever remains every month in stocks. There are many ways to invest your money: real estate, stocks, mutual funds, etc. Nowadays, you can add fancy investments like crypto and NFTs to the list. There's no one right way to invest. Quote, "The essence of investment management is the management of risks, not the management of returns." Benjamin Graham. You just listened to the post titled "How to Start Investing: Simple 4-Step Investing for Beginners" by Mr. Finer of MrFiner.com. I thought this was a pretty good order of operations when it comes to investing, but I'll add a few caveats. Regardless of how much debt you have, if your employer is offering any kind of match in a retirement vehicle, prioritize investing just enough to get the full match. This is because that is free money you're leaving on the table. And depending on how long it will take you to get completely out of debt before you start investing, you could be leaving that money on the table for a long time. Also, if you have federal student loans where you're enrolled in an advantageous repayment plan, it could make a lot of sense to not pay this debt off as quickly as possible or to delay investing while you're paying this off, especially if you're pursuing student loan forgiveness. My strategy has been to focus on increasing the gap between my income and expenses so that I had more funds available to squash debt. Once I was out of debt, I took that money I was throwing at debt and focused on fully funding my retirement vehicles, which for me was my 401k, Roth IRA, and HSA at about $29,000 per year, as well as building up my cash reserves of 1 year of expenses. After I was satisfied with my cash reserves, I put any surplus after funding retirement vehicles into an after-tax brokerage. If you'd like to learn more about this super simple investment strategy, I highly recommend you read the book, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. And that will do it for today. Have a great day and start to your weekend. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back here reading to you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.